This is our August video update. Our first summer here has been hot, but not the abnormally high temperatures that the rest of France, or the rest of Europe for that matter, have seen this year. Likewise, the Montpellier area has been spared from the wildfires that have made the news. We have kept relatively cool by scheduling our outdoor activities in the morning and then clinging to the shade in the afternoon, or more often than not, hiding in our air-conditioned apartment for the worst of the heat. We have established a routine, kind of hope it isn't a rut, but it's a good routine. Each day Elaine goes to the stable to take care of the horses. Most of those days she rides her bike the 6 miles each way. I usually join her once a week at the stables. She usually rides every week. I am lucky if I get in a ride a month right now. For the other days, I walk between 3 and 5 miles around Montpellier, trying to keep a brisk 4-mile-an-hour pace. A couple of weeks ago, we cycled to the beach and splashed around in the Mediterranean, but that's been it for exploratory trips in July. We did expect that for our first year we would mostly need to focus on settling into France and our home, and these details have kept us, well, mostly me, very busy and distracted. I have begun to research trips that we might take next year, which would take advantage of our location in the south of France. On the paperwork front, I have received my carte vitale, which is the card used to obtain health care and prescriptions in France. The coverage it provides is the equivalent of a Medicare for All system, but with the addition of strict government control over prices for medical care and drugs. It's amazing how well healthcare works when short-term profit is not the overriding concern. We are still waiting for Elaine's coverage, in part because of a classic bureaucratic screw up in the way her application is being handled. Apparently they go through the supporting paperwork we supplied one page at a time, and as soon as they have a question or an issue, they stop looking at further down the stack and they send us a request for the current issue. When they receive our response, they move on to the next page, and if they find an issue there, they put the application on hold again and wait for us to reply. And so on and so on. We are on the 5th such request for Elaine, with the most recent request for a cleaner copy of a document, which we had sent them at the beginning of May, but obviously they hadn't looked at it because it was lower down in the stack. It has been taking about 30 days for them to reply to our responses. But I think this latest document request was for something at or near the bottom of the stack, so I am optimistic. Probably foolishly so. We have been taking mock driving tests online frequently over the past month and a half, and we have done well enough that we are now registered to take the code test for our driver's licenses in Paris at the end of August. Assuming we pass the code test, our driving school will evaluate our driving skills that very afternoon, and then we'll be able to schedule our in-car driving lessons, followed immediately by the actual driving test. I hope all of this can be done in September because we need to have our French licenses by late October or we will no longer be able to drive in France. For the upcoming code test, we'll take the TGV from Montpellier and spend a few days in the Rue de Guerre neighborhood of Paris after the test before we head back home. Let's talk about our kitchen remodel. In our July update, I said that the work should be completed by the end of the month. Well, it wasn't. And in fact, it won't be completed by the end of August either. The gas company decided they didn't like the way our gas supply line was installed, nor did they like the exhaust vent system used for our boiler, ignoring the fact that all of this work had been done in 2013, long before we bought the place. And so they shut off our gas, the gas we use to supply hot water for the apartment. Fortunately, the back bathroom has a separate electric water heater, and so we do have heated water there. But for the kitchen and the rest of the apartment's hot water, we need to wait for the gas company to come and vent the gas supply run where it runs through the walls and in the suspended ceiling, and to install a new exhaust line for the boiler. For the former, it's a fairly simple enough procedure to add venting to those areas. For the latter, they need to go up to the roof and then drop down a new vent line through the existing exist vent to our apartment 3 floors below. Naturally, the earliest they can do this work is the end of August, exactly when we will be in Paris for our driver's license test. Fortunately, we have a local friend who can be at our place when this work is done. This means that the installation of the kitchen cabinets and appliances, which have arrived and are sitting in the living dining room, has to wait until September. And after that, we have to wait for the countertops to be measured, cut, and installed. I think we're going to be lucky to have our kitchen back by the end of September. If we are that lucky, we will have been without a proper kitchen for more than 3 months. Fortunately, we do have our makeshift kitchen in the back room, but again, it's just a microwave, some storage space, and a cutting board area. Well, I'm going to end this update on that happy thought.